And welcome back to another podcast episode of Living Free Joyfully. If this is your first time tuning in, this is a space for those who are seeking to live free with joy. So, thank you for tuning in. Today, I want to discuss dating. Yep, dating. I know last podcast episode, I talked about going outside and meeting people and that being my primary way of meeting men. And I also told you that I have been on 3 dates this year. And let's discuss those dates. So before we jump into those dates, let me back up and say in 2020 and 2021 and a little bit of 2019, I was going on like 2 dates a week. Your girl was dating. I was out here. I was outside. And now that everybody else is outside, I'm inside. But that's the way life goes sometimes. And I was just thinking about it and how I've only been on 3 dates this year and how I don't feel any type of way about it. Like, it doesn't even bother me. I'm not pressed to be outside with nobody's son. And as I was thinking about the dates and what they were and how they went and how did I even get involved with some of these men, my picker is off. I think that, I don't know, maybe just because I was a little rusty, because I hadn't dated in a little while, I was just choosing a man. I don't know. But let me tell you about the first date. It wasn't bad at all. It was with a guy that I had gone out with before. We went out at the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021. And it was fine. I just realized I was not interested in him as we were sitting there and I was looking at his face and he was talking and we went out to dinner and we had pizza and wings and the food was really great, but I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want to be here anymore. I don't want to look at your face anymore. I really wish I was home. And I had dressed up for this date because I had liked him before. He was someone I, thought I could see myself with, but then as we were sitting there across the dinner table from one another, I just realized it's a no. It's a no. It's an absolute no, and that's fine. It's very much fine, and I told him that in a random text one day. Like after the date, we weren't even really talking. It was like a text here and there, like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was never the one to initiate. And one day he sent a text, was like, "Hey, you can text me too." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I just don't want to. I don't want this at all." And so I was like, "You know what, girl, what do you want?" I was like, "Not him." So I just sent him a random text because our, texts were sporadic and random anyway. Just like, "Hey, hope you find what you're looking for. I hope you have, an amazing life and you enjoy the journey. Be blessed." And then I thought I blocked him, but apparently I didn't because he sent me a text back, I don't know, an hour or two later talking about, is this a, random see you later text? And I was like, yeah. And that was that. Still don't remember if I blocked him or not, but I've never heard from him again. So that's fine. I'm cool with that. Then the next guy, he was love bombing me right away. Very much right away. So I decided to play along. I don't know why. And he said he was going to be my last everything. My last first date. My last first kiss. My last first everything. And I was like, I don't even know your last name. How could this be true? I don't know anything about you. So I was like, okay. He started calling me bae and boo and honey right away. Lets me know he probably was talking to multiple girls and he didn't want to get their names mixed up, which is fine. I don't care because I didn't want you. I didn't want them. So I don't know why I decided to play along. Just something to do, I suppose. And then it went on for about a month. Then we, all together. Then about 2 weeks in, we went on our first date, which wasn't really a date. We just hung out at my house. And I don't know, again, why I allowed that to happen, but I did. And again, he was love bombing me, and he tried to kiss me, and I didn't like that. And then he tried to gaslight me. I said, hey, you want to hang out again? Outside? And he sent me an emoji. I don't know what it meant. So I said nothing. And then he called me and he said, hey, why didn't you respond? Why didn't you ever say something? I said, I asked you a question and you never answered. You sent an emoji. That emoji, like the thinking emoji. What kind of response should I give to that? I just got tired of playing the game, so I stopped. And we both eventually just stopped texting each other. Like, it was never a mutual decision or one of us saying, hey, this isn't going to work. It was just, we just, kind of both fell off. I'm fine with that. So this third one is the kicker. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I met this guy, again, online. All these people I've met online. So I think that's what's kind of pushing me to go outside. But again, with this third guy I met online, he's a little younger than me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give younger guys a chance. Why not? Because my best friend, has fallen in love with the guy who's like 14 years her junior. And they are very much in love, very much committed, very much happy. And I was like, you know what? Younger guys may be where it's at. Because these older ones, they ain't working out so hot. So I went on this date. We were texting. He was responsive. He asked me out right away. I was like, okay, cool. I did not do my research like I usually do with all the other guys I go out with. At least Google them, stalk them on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok a little bit. But this one, for whatever reason, I did not. I decided, I don't know. I decided to, just let go and let God, I suppose. Plus, he was, talking really great about God and Christianity and, being in tune with the Holy Spirit. And we were just vibing, over text. And we had a call and it was great. And then started getting a little weird. He sent me some texts, about how in line he was with God and he called himself a monk. And I just thought, haha, which I literally replied in the text, like, haha. And he later counted the ha-has I sent. I don't know what I said. I don't know how many I sent, but he told me the exact amount. Whatever. So I just, replied, ha ha ha. I'm thinking he's joking, like, he's really into God and he doesn't do much. He don't go outside much. He don't be out. And I was like, haha, cool. And then he sent me a picture of his shelves. And he told me he only eats fruits and grains. And on his shelves were fruits and grains. And I said, okay, cool. I eat meat. I eat lots of things. So, and he was like, he's cool with that. And I was like, I'm cool with you. You can eat whatever you want because I'm going to eat whatever I want. And then he was like, I exercise a lot. And he had such an intense routine. He was like, okay, I'm going to exercise. I'll be back in 3 hours. And I was like, I don't exercise. So I'll, have fun exercising. But, I'm going to go out with my friends and have fun doing that. And he was like really ripped, like very, very in shape, abs and muscles and all the stuff. And I was like, cool. You saw my pictures, I'm not like that. So I don't know what else to say. And so he was like, cool, you want to hang out on such and such date? And I was like, sure. And this was maybe 3-4 days into us talking off the app. We got off the app pretty quick too. I always look at that as a good sign. So I was like, cool. And then he said, let's meet up at this park. And I was like, I'm not driving that far. It was like an hour away. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Let's meet somewhere locally. Oh, no. Let me backtrack. First he said, let's meet at my temple, which he meant his house. Because he calls his house his temple, which is fine, cool, whatever. And I was like, no, I'm not comfortable doing that. I want to meet somewhere in public. And he was like, cool, there's many temples on my street. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. And then, he sent me this address for a park. And I was like, that park is like an hour away. I'm not going there. And then he was like, okay, how about this park? And I was like, cool, the park is 15 minutes away. And he was like, okay, from me anyway. He was like, okay, it'll take me an hour to get there. And I was like, oh, wow. He really was trying to, he was an hour away. Cool. And so I was like, I timed it so that I could get there on time. So I left my house about, when 20 minutes to the date so I could have a little leeway. And then I get there. It's a Buddhist temple park. Cool. Great. And then, he said he wants to sing into the lake. He told me on the phone. And I was like, okay. Because I told him I like to sing. I'm a singer. And he said, oh, he likes to sing and he's a singer. And I was like, cool, we got something in common. And so he said, let's go sing into this lake at this Buddhist temple park. And I was like, okay, why not? Why not, right? So we get there and he is dressed in a bathrobe, a blue plaid bathrobe with shorts and tennis shoes. He has the bathrobe rolled up to his shoulders. Then he has yellow nunchucks around his neck. And I was like, what's going on? What's happening? And he said, I told you I'm a monk. I didn't think you meant literally. I thought you meant that you just don't go outside. And this is where he told me how many times I said ha 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 when he sent me that. And I was like, oh. So at this point, I knew this was going to be weird. So as we were trying to go to the lake, a lovely Asian lady came out and yelled at us to leave. Apparently, this is her property, and she opens it to the public sometimes, but not until July. So we hop in my car because he doesn't have a car. He ran to the park. Oh, did I also mention he was musty and very sweaty? So that's why I was going to take him an hour, because he was walking there. But he decided to run, so he got there a little early. And I was like, cool. And this is my face the entire time. Cool. Okay. Wow. And the entire time, we hop in my car. We drive to another park like 2 minutes down the street. And as I'm driving, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm crazy. Why did I let this self-proclaimed monk in a bathrobe in my car? So driving down the street, we get out the car. He got the nunchucks and he's nunchucking them. And I'm like, cool. How'd you learn martial arts? He took some mushrooms and read a book of the Bible. And he woke up and knew martial arts. Yeah, I wish I was making this up. He offered me some weird candy out of his pocket. I declined, and then he accused me of not being adventurous. And I'm thinking, I just let a stranger in a bathrobe with nunchucks in my car. And I'm alone as a woman. You think I'm not adventurous? That doesn't mesh. Then we just, walking around the park, chopping it up, and he's telling me ridiculous stories about nothing that matters. And I'm listening, and people are looking at us like we are the oddest couple, because we are. Because, I was dressed for like a park date, cute but casual. I had on some jeans, a cute, t-shirt, little graphic t-shirt, some open-toe sandals, my hair was out. Had on my hoops, because that's what I do. And he had on a bathrobe with some shorts and some tennis shoes. By the way, I never saw the shorts because, the bathrobe was closed very tight and it was long, like below his knees. I just took his word for it that he had on, clothes under there. I wasn't going to peek or ask. So we were walking around the park and it gets dark. And I'm like, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. And he's telling me all types of things about stairs, about how to make bomber jets, about Asians in general. Okay, cool. Wow. So I told him I got to, book it because I got to go to the bathroom. And it's the kind of one, the one you got to do at the house. And he's like, okay, cool. And I was like, part of me was conflicted. I was like, oh my God, do I offer him a ride? Is this my responsibility? What do I do? And he was like, okay, I'm going to run back home. And I was like, oh, in the dark? Because it was dark by this time. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I mean, you got your nunchucks. You should be good. You know martial arts. You got little weird candies in your pocket. You should be great. And he was like, yeah. So then after that, he was, he texted me. He was like, hey, I had a really good time. I enjoyed talking to you. I want to cuddle with you. And I was like, oh, great. That's cool. Then he told me he's a day trader. And I was like, what? I'm trying to learn how to day trade, actively trying to learn how to day trade. But these charts are whooping my butt. I have no idea what they mean or why I have to look at them. And he's like, okay, I can teach you that. And then he was like, but I've never been a teacher to someone I'm pursuing romantically. And I was like, we don't have to do the romantic part. You can just teach me. We ain't got to be romantic because I don't want to be romantic with you anyway. And I was like, oh my God, thank you for giving me a way of escape. Thank you, God, for leading me down the path to get away from him. Oh, let me also tell you, he asked me what I like to do. And I said, I love to read, one of the things I said. And as we're walking around the park, he said, how do you separate that from reality? And I said, what? What do you mean? What? He said, because I said I like historical fiction. So there's, parts of it that are historical, but the majority of it is fiction, right? Like slavery, but there's fiction in it. And he said, how do you separate that from reality in your mind? I didn't know how to answer that. I just said, it just happens. It does what it does. My mind knows what happened to me and what didn't. And then I'm able to separate it. And he was flabbergasted. So I'm relaying these stories right to my friends. And my best friend is a therapist. She, for a living, diagnoses people. And with, mental illnesses and disorders and such. And as I'm telling her the story and, telling her what transpired and how he's, constantly trying to cuddle and not be my teacher, but trying to be, romantic. And I'm trying to tell him, hey, teach me these trading things. By the way, he never did. All he sent me was charts. And I done already told him, these charts don't mean nothing to me. I don't understand them. And he's like, he never said anything, just sent me a chart and sent me. He's like, well, if you can read angles, then you'll know. What does the angle mean? Should I buy? Should I sell? Should I hold? Should I do a put option, a call option? What should I do with this? And he wasn't telling me nothing. So I was like, I don't think this is going nowhere. You're not teaching me. I'm not interested romantically at all. And my friend said, hey, he's schizophrenic. Block him immediately. And I said, how do you know? She said, he has delusions of grandeur, which he did. He very much did, because he said he could breathe in for 3 minutes. He said he could do all sorts of things that humans, regular humans, could not do. And I was like, okay, cool. Wow, that's awesome. And as I was telling her these things, she said, block him immediately. And so I let it go on one more day, just to see if he could, I get some little tidbits about the trading, something. And the kicker, the final straw was he made me a song. But it sounded like someone turning on their computer. And when I told him, thank you, but I'm not really feeling the song because it kind of sounds like someone turning on a computer, this is what he said. It is. It's the Windows 98 sound. Oh, cool. Wow, that's awesome. So I sent him that random. Be well. I pray you find whatever you're looking for in your life. I hope you're happy. Enjoy your journey. Be blessed. Then I blocked him on everything. And I was like, this is my dating life. So you kind of see why I'm trying to go outside. Because my online pickings as of lately have been trash. Very much trash. And I'm kind of don't feel any way about it. And I don't know if that's good or bad, honestly. I don't know what is really happening, but I hope you enjoyed it. And as I go on some more journeys, I'm going to bring y'all along. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing on the horizon. I was supposed to go out this week and it didn't happen because of, lady cramps and such. But I am going away this weekend, so I plan to document it, and maybe I'll meet somebody outside, or maybe I won't, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to do what I want, and read my nonfiction that I can distinguish from my real life. And you know what? I'm going to continue to seek joy. I'm going to continue to seek freedom, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it, y'all, and I'm going to live it out, and I hope you all do too. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, see you next time. And if you didn't, tell me what I can do. Give me some constructive criticism. I'm always open. And I love all of y'all. And be sure to comment, to like, to share, to subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.